landing craft stops, that's it. The order is given by the coxswain to lower the ramp is dropped down and out.
And he says, everybody off. And naturally we had to get off.
When that ramp went down, so did our numbers go.
And when we went off, I never will forget, I thought I was going to drown.
They wore an inflatable life jacket and they wore it underneath their packet in the back. And so they'd squeeze the CO2 cartridges and they'd float bottom up and drown.
We rolled off that landing craft into the water and we went about 20 feet and we sunk.
A lot of them didn't get out of the water. I remember laying there on the beach looking back and seeing guys in the water.
I walked on my tip of my toes. And then you had to hold your rifle above your head to keep your rifle dry. A lot of the fellows drowned right there and going to shore. Or you had 65-pound full field packs on your back.
Many of them that went in first, they never had a chance. They were sitting up high shooting right down on them with good-sized guns, and they hit those landing craft right in the front, right in the gates and drop it, and boom.
When I got up to the water's edge and I heard all the machine guns and 88s shooting at you, plus rockets and other things, something went wrong. Something went wrong.
There was at least 2 machine guns setting up way up high. They were firing at us.
The Germans were shooting at us. And we just kept running forward to get on the beach.
Well, the Germans had, in one particular place, they had a dual 50 caliber machine gun at the top of this hill. And that probably was responsible for a lot of casualties.
They had us pinned down. I mean, we couldn't do anything.
We stayed real low. In fact, when we got onto the beach, we crawled. You never stood up.
Those beaches were zeroed in. And you can imagine that there were hundreds of thousands of bullets from the German machine guns and from their rifles, the automatic weapons.
These 2 companies, the A company and the B company, landed just in front of the Verville Drow. And it was a very bad place because the Verville Drow was well equipped with a machine gun, German machine gun.
They had machine guns on those beaches. And they was crossfire, they'd shoot, they was what they call crossfire like that. And you couldn't get, it was almost impossible for those Rangers and those infantry to get on the beach. They just couldn't make it. They'd mow them down.
They just went from one side to the other with those machine guns. And they put you down. It was unreal. How we ever made it, I don't know. But the grace of God, that's all I can say.
And here we are in the middle of an invasion, and you don't realize it. I mean, until you see sorry.
And by the time I got to the beach, the infantry had started coming in then. And at least half of them were still laying in the water. They didn't make it.
There were so many men in the water that the ramp man had to act as a telegraph person and tell the coxswain which way to turn the boat not to run over the dead that was floating in the water.
I do remember a lot of bodies, and a lot of them never got out of their landing boats.
After the first couple of waves, the water was just full of people. It was full of soldiers and sailors. Their landing barges were exploded.
The beach was just, there's bodies. It was bad. In fact, where the tide comes in, they just piled up.
We knew that there was trouble on the beach before we went in. We knew everything was backed up. What was supposed to happen on the beach wasn't happening.
Things had not gone as they were scripted, and the infantry is still here on beach, and they're being shot up, and there's all these wounded and dead along with them.
Everything it was in such a chaos that nobody really knew what was going on.
And it was really confusing to try and remember what you had to do at a certain time and where.
And nobody knew where we were because we were landed on the wrong spot. I come in on easy green, and that didn't mean nothing, but I could see the Rangers, and we were too far to the left.
But really, it was going so fast, and things were happening so fast that you didn't have time to ponder a bit. You just did it.
We were completely detached from all the members of our outfit. Most of the non-commissioned officers and some of the officers had disappeared where, I don't know. Some got killed.
And we knew that the initial waves were still on the beach, and there was a lot of equipment destruction.
There was debris all over the beach, blown out tanks, trucks, you name it. It was laying there on the beach.
You know where you're supposed to go. And then when you land and you're not where you're supposed to be, it's mass confusion then. And officers were being knocked out, and non-coms were being killed or wounded, and a lot of the guys were on their own.
Looking around and the situation, it was impossible to really describe the chaos, the debris, the wrecked equipment, and the wounded, and the dead.